right, at this time, we were going to open up for, not the general meeting, we're going to open up a public hearing on introductory local law number 7 of 2024 to exceed the 2% tax cap. This is a typical procedure that's done every single year since the introduction of the property tax cap. As we're in the process of developing our budget, certain emergencies could come up that come near the deadline to submit your final budget. And if you do not introduce this local law, then you could be subject to penalties if you do happen to override the tax cap, which is 2% this year. The deputy clerk will read the public notice.
Please take notice that the town board of the town of Warwick will hold a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 7 of 2024 entitled Exceed the 2% Property Tax Cap. Said public hearing to be held on Thursday, September 26, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York. A complete copy of the introductory local law is available for inspection in the clerk's office and/or the Town of Warwick website at townofwarwick.org. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you. And again, we're early in the budget process. This does not necessarily mean that the town board intends to exceed the 2% tax cap. It will just give us the statutory ability to do that if needed. Any comments from the board before we go to the public? Any comments or questions from the public on this local law? Any comments from the staff of the town board on this local law? Okay. There being no comments, I make a motion that we close the public hearing on introductory local law number 7.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. At this time, we'll go into a public hearing on introductory local law number 8 of 2024, amending Chapter 112, peddling and soliciting. The intent behind this local law is to change our town code. We identified that our code did not necessarily prohibit people from operating commercial businesses on town property. So Attorney Buckheit has presented the town board with a suggested code change that will now require, which you thought would have been obvious, that if someone intends to conduct commercial operations on any town property, including town parks, they will require written permission from the town board in order to do that. The deputy clerk will read the notice.
Please take notice that the town board of the town of Warwick will hold a public hearing to consider introductory local law number 8 of 2024 entitled Amending Chapter 112, Peddling and Soliciting. Said public hearing to be held on Thursday, September 26, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York. A complete copy of the introductory local law is available for inspection in the clerk's office and/or the Town of Warwick website at townofwarwick.org. All interested persons will be given the opportunity to be heard.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments from the public on this local law? Okay. There being none, I will make a motion to close the public hearing on introductory local law number 8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. All right, at this time, I would like to call to order the regular town board meeting for September 26th. If you would all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would the deputy clerk please call roll?
Supervisor Dwyer.
Here.
Councilman D'Angelo.
Here.
Councilman Kowal.
Here.
Councilman Schubach.
Here.
Councilman Mattingly.
Present.
Attorney Buckheit.
Here.
Thank you. We have no presentations today. I make a motion that we accept the regular meeting minutes from September 12, 2024.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Correspondence is listed in our agenda packet as well as for the public, and it's listed as addendum number 1. Is there any discussion from the board? Any comments on our correspondence? Okay. We have no visiting elected officials this evening. We'll go right into reports of boards and department heads, beginning with Police Chief John Rader. No jokes from Ben on the microphone, so we're good.
and I can make it my height and be okay tonight. I have a very brief report for the board. We wanted to remind the community that Applefest is October 6th. We're anticipating major traffic delays and large crowds in and around the Village of Warwick area. There'll be a film crew in the Belleville area from October 2nd through October 7th. We've been discussing this at the past couple meetings. We're still working closely with this crew. There will be some temporary road closures and detours on the 2nd and the 7th, but there'll be activity throughout the week that we will be monitoring. The affected areas will include Pumpkin Hill Road, Upper and Lower Wisner Roads, as well as Wisner Road. We will have officers assigned to these details to assist the motorists and the residents. Over the last 41 years, our agency has been working with the New York State Police and most recently the FBI on the cold case homicide of Dawn Marino. Dawn was last seen alive in Pine Island on May 16, 1981. Her remains were found on October 31st, 1987. Due to recent developments in the investigation, we're asking anyone with information to contact the New York State Police, the Town of Warwick Police, or the FBI, and I have those numbers available for those tips lines. Finally, we're hosting a child safety seat check tomorrow at the Dollar Tree parking lot in the Village of Florida. We'll have technicians on hand to ensure that the child safety seat is properly installed, and we're probably going to be doing a barbecue for the kids that are coming in the parking lot, and that's from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's my report, unless there's any questions from the board.
Any questions from the board?
Thank you.
All right, DPW, Foreman Walter Schultz.
Good evening. We have done some numerous amounts of repairs. We had some minor patching we've done throughout the town, and then we had a call. We went up on Barrett Road. We had to repair a ditch, and then we blacktopped the ditch and did the patching that was needed there. Ward Paving has been with us. We paved Iron Forge, Ball Road, Cedar Lane, Jessup. We paved the dog park and the soccer field roadway, the parking lots there. We paved that with them. They're going to be returning next week. We did a serious pipe job and catch basin repair on Royal Court. We installed a couple new catch basins. We repaired the catch basins. We removed all the rotted metal culvert and replaced them with plastic culvert, and then we blacktopped over that. We've been ditching. We finished ditching Bloom's Corners, and we started on Wheeler Road now. Wickham Drive, we had a call. We removed some brush and cut down some trees that were needed there for better visibility. I had the guys hauling some item 5A for the repairs we've been doing. The parks, they were doing their normal, you know, the garbage, the mowing. And as far as vehicle maintenance, they did some routine repairs on the police cars, dial-a-buses, some of the pickups, and they're also getting vehicles ready for inspection and snow removal. And that's about it.
Great, thank you. Any questions for DPW?
Actually, October 14th, I got a request from the Pine Island Chamber of Commerce about some items. I'll forward the text I got to Ben listing the things that they'll need for the Pumpkin Fest.
Okay.
Probably, usually the usual things.
He'll be back, I think the 6th or something, so
Okay.
we'll take care of that when that time comes.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay?
Thanks, Walt.
All right, thanks.
Water and Sewer Deputy Commissioner Matt McPherson.
Good evening.
Slow, right? It's not busy in water and sewer these days.
Oh, jeez. All right, outside of the ongoing larger scale project, I just wanted to report on the day-to-day routine operations and daily maintenance things being done. Our overall daily goal for the town is maintaining high professional standards for all the town facilities and to ensure that the work is safe, efficient, and we are compliant with regulatory agencies on both water and wastewater sides, while also providing the best quality drinking water and wastewater treatment we can. Just to detail, some of these things include 16 stops being checked every day, 365 days a year, sampling, testing, and data collection every day, monthly regulatory reporting for all systems, daily maintenance and greasing, as well as any other jobs that arise day to day. I'm happy to report this is all being completed on time and in accordance with regulatory guidelines. For Pine Island Water District, going into some of the larger ongoing, excuse me, ongoing projects. Just to recap, we completed drilling a new well for that district. The flow testing revealed that the well can yield higher flow capacity than we originally anticipated. And the sampling revealed that the water quality meets all New York State drinking water standards. So there's finally some good news for that district. Our next steps is submitting that information to the Department of Health and having it approved for connection to the water system. We also had a water service line leak on that system on the side of County Route 1. With the help of the DPW, we were able to repair that leak. We had a leak on the side of Blueberry Hill and Greenwood Lake for the summer system that we also repaired since last report. For all water districts, we are continuing to work on the lead in service and copper inventory line program. This is required by the New York State Department of Health for water suppliers to document water service line material on both the public and private side of the water service to rule out the possibility of lead. We have a deadline for a preliminary submission for all water districts of October 16th, but this will be a project we will continue to work to gather information on into next year. For the wastewater end, the main thing for the wastewater is for the main wastewater treatment plant. Despite all of our efforts, we've been unable to restore full function to the rapid sand filters at the wastewater treatment plant. We tried making multiple costly repairs and upgrades, and as one thing was fixed, another issue arose somewhere else on the filter system. We've contacted the DEC, and we have a meeting scheduled for October 7th to go over how to proceed with our next steps. And that concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Matt? Thank you, Matt. Great job. Recreation, Sam Walter.
So my report's mainly about Mountain Lake Park. Even though the pools are closed, the park's been really busy because we have the preschool at the park run by the Hudson Highlands Nature Center. So the little ones are out and about every day. And the art building is super busy with Odyssey of the Minds Club and the Technology Club. So lots of kids are at the park being busy and active. The kitchen is also super busy right now with a lot of fall events, so the food trucks and caterers are getting in and doing a lot of cooking in the kitchen, which is great to see. We had two big, large events. One was the Warwick Valley High School class of 74 reunion. That is former Supervisor Mike Sweeten's class. So that was a lot of fun to see him and his classmates out at the park. I want to thank Councilman Cole for his help with the sound system in the pavilion to get great music for the party. We wouldn't be able to do that without your help. Thank you so much. The other great event that we had at the park was the Lions Club Pickleball Palooza tournament. So that was a lot of fun, all-day event. Thanks to Trish Smith and the Lions Club for organizing, and special thanks to Pat Corcoran. He's the volunteer for the town that did Duper boot camp and loves pickleball, but he was there the whole day running stats and keeping the tournament running and going. So thanks to Pat. And then for events coming up, Greenwood Lake Theater Company is putting on a play this weekend and next weekend called Title of Show. So the theater will be busy again. We have Sustainable Warwick is helping out with a pollinator planting project on October 14th, and I think we're still looking for volunteers for that. And we have an Eagle Scout project that was started as well. So things are busy at the park. Okay, any questions? Good?
Questions for Sam?
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we're going to go right into town board reports, beginning with Councilman D'Angelo.
Okay, good evening. First of all, I want to start off by Susan Barron, the president of the Warwick Valley Humane Society, was the Warwick Valley Rotary Citizen of the Year, and we wish her well. The All-for-One golf outing with the Warwick Valley Rotary was held yesterday at the golf course of Mansion Ridge in Monroe and was very successful for the organizations. They want to thank all who sponsored the event and who played golf. The Warwood Valley Humane Society will once again have a booth at Applefest on South Street by the railroad tracks on Sunday, October 6th, with items for sale. All proceeds will benefit the shelter residents. The shelter currently has dogs, cats, lots of kittens, rabbits, parakeets, 1 cockatiel, and 1 rooster available for adoption. Adoption applications are available at wvhumane.org, or you can call 845-986-2473 with any questions. They are in dire need of the following supplies: newspapers, paper towels, bleach, white vinegar, laundry detergent, spray bottles, pate-style canned cat food, Natural Balance or Merrick canned dog food, paper plates, large or small, and 13-gallon kitchen garbage bags. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councilman Cole, your report, please.
No report.
Councilman Mattingly.
Just a few things from the Warwick Chamber of Commerce and then a couple of other things. A ribbon cutting for Sweet D's Ice Cream, 16 McEwen Street in Warwick, will be held on October 1st at 4 p.m., dovetailing with Chief Rader's report. Sunday, October 6th is the Warwick Apple Fest. Festivities start at 9 p.m. and conclude at 5 p.m. The majority of the events and booths will be on South Street and the intersecting roads. Another ribbon cutting on Tuesday, October the 8th is Pasta d'Oro, which is at the location of the Jolly Onion, the former Jolly Onion, 625 Glenwood Road, Pine Island, New York. And again, that's October 8th, 2024 at 4 p.m. Just a quick update, the Warwick Valley Telephone Archtop Communications installation of the fiber optic lines that they're putting through Warwick and beyond. Actually, it goes into New Jersey and to Vernon and other places. They are now 87% constructed, which means that the infrastructure for the lines are in place, and 38% live. And I will try to get updates on those regularly. I know that there's a combination of different things they're using to determine where they're installing both convenience and bang for their buck. So there's not really, there's part of the village of Warwick, the part of the village of Florida, but it's not, the whole villages aren't yet live, but those are coming online. And I'll try to get additional information about where they'll be working moving forward. Again, 80% constructed and 38% live, and I believe a number of people are using those services now. And that is all I have for this evening, Supervisor.
All right, thank you. Councilman Schuback, your report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Just so everyone knows, at the Union Corner Park, the soccer fields and the lacrosse fields, they were fertilized today. So if anyone sees anything, there's no chemicals, no pesticides, it's just fertilizer. And the reason we did it during the rain was probably it's already dissolved and taken in the plant. So it's nothing, so it's probably, you won't even see it. But just in case anyone sees anything, it's just pure fertilizer. That's all.
Thank you. Attorney Buckeye, your report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. As your custom here in the state, my report is largely confidential, but I'm prepared to answer any questions. I would point out that I was honored to accompany you earlier today to attend 2 ribbon cuttings here in the town of Warwick.
Thank you, John. Any questions for the attorney? Your mic wasn't on either. Deputy Clerk?
The only thing that I have is that we received a bid proposal for security cameras at Mountain Lake Park. It came in from Advanced Integration LLC, 12 Amity Road, Warwick, New York, and the bid proposal amount was $9,216.24. That's all I have.
Thank you. We are waiting for additional proposals to come in. That's the only quote that we've received so far, so we are not acting on that proposal this evening. My report is essentially a summary of what I discussed with the board during our public workshop right before this meeting, but I'll give the public an update one of the things we discussed, which you might have read in the news, is a potential shared agreement with our villages to have a combined grant writer that will be hired by the town of Warwick and supported in some financial way by each of the villages. What I've seen, and as the board recognizes, is that the cost of running a government, running a business, has skyrocketed, and our revenues have decreased constantly from federal allotments and other sources, and you've got to be creative to continue to pay for a lot of these infrastructure projects. And it seems that the only way that you can do that without putting the tax burden on the public is by finding grant sources, federal, state, county grant sources, which we've historically been successful at, but they're getting harder and more competitive as more municipalities try to get this grant funding. So we have solicited proposals, and the one proposal that has come in that looked the best was from Millennium Strategies, which is a specifically grant writing organization. They're not a combination engineer grant writer. They only do grant writing and grant research work for municipalities. And we're currently working with them and our 3 villages to see if we can come to some sort of a shared services agreement to share the benefit of having one combined grant writer. Budget season is well underway. We've been working really hard with our department heads to put together the tentative budget, which is essentially all of the requests from the department heads to operate as best they can. This will then be provided to the public. The town board will meet, review it in public, and we will then work to have some sort of a preliminary budget by October 30th. And we're going to do our best to stay at a very reasonable rate and provide the services that the town residents continue to expect every day. I gave the board a short-term rental violation update. This has been something that's really consumed the building department. They've put in a lot of work on it, as has Attorney Buckite. They've been working great to ensure that these commercial businesses are operating within the confines of the town code. And as of today, we have collected $41,000 in violations since January 1st till now, just specifically related to illegally operating short-term rentals. So we have a strict policy in Warwick. It's follow the rules. We know that there are countless short-term rentals throughout the town. We know that it does affect the quality of life for many neighborhoods. We also know that it helps support tourism. It supports local businesses, and it helps in some cases support residents who are renting out a room in their home. It helps them pay their taxes, pay their bills. So we understand the pros and cons associated with this, but for now, it's legal in the town of Warwick, and we just want to make sure that the public and those who are engaging in it are following the rules. The town board discussed a farm stand application for Glenmere Ave. It's a very unique parcel of property that's 30 acres. It's zoned residential. It does meet and comply with our code, but in this particular case, we thought the code was a little ambiguous. With an interpretation from our town attorney and consent from the town board, we're going to recommend that the building department grant this farm stand application. I presented the board with an update on the Jane Street Bridge situation. We did receive formal notification from the Bridge New York grant program that we were awarded $1.35 million to rebuild the Jane Street Bridge. In addition, we've been working with the Orange County Transportation Council, and we've got a commitment for an additional $2.3 million for the bridge. That leaves a local share of $450,000. We have got a verbal commitment from the state for an additional source of funding through the Marcaselli program that will provide the additional $445,000, leaving a cost share of approximately $5,000 for the town of Warwick. So nearly 100% funded to replace the Jane Street Bridge. At this time, we have not been authorized to go out to even solicit qualifications from engineering firms to design the bridge. Once we receive that notification, we're ready to move full steam ahead to do everything that we can to get that bridge replaced and reopened. The bike hike trail, which is I think it's been discussed here at this town board for the last 18 years, is finally going to be breaking ground within a month, and that's going to be a two-part trail. The main component of this trail will connect Cascade Lake Park with the Orange County Park at Hickory Hills, and that will be a walking trail through the woods that will include a beautiful timber bridge, and it's kicking off pretty soon. But that, again, after a lot of research will be 100% funded by the federal government with a pass-through through the DOT. Lead service inventory, Deputy Commissioner McPherson and I have been working along with other department heads, the assessor's office, as well as clerks within the supervisor's office, to put together a lot of data and maps and minutes going back to 1960s to try to identify the homes with potential lead service, or at least those that we can cancel off of the list. I appreciate your hard work on that, Matt. It's a lot of information, and we didn't really get much time to put it together. So we'll meet that deadline, though, I'm sure of it. Matt also mentioned about the Pine Island well. The additional deepening of the well that we did brought that, it quadrupled the yield of the water quality, and previously the water quality in the report would not have met DOH standards, but by deepening the well, it now not only meets DOH standards for drinking water quality, but it also will yield more than adequate number of gallons per minute. So that was a well worthwhile endeavor. We have a meeting scheduled at Town Hall on October 22nd. This is not a public meeting. This is a meeting to get an update from the DOT on the status of the paving. I've been in this job now for 8 months, and it's still the very first question that people ask me is what's going on with the paving project, because it is such a large-scale project extending all the way from Florida to the New Jersey border in Warwick on 94, and it includes many different culverts, catch basins, driveways, businesses, as well as, in our case, in the town of Warwick, a roundabout. So we have a meeting with them to get finalized plans and understand better their timeline, as they have committed to going out to bid for the project and having a final design by the fall and winter of 2024, which is this fall and this winter. They are expecting to start the beginning of next year, but again, that's what this meeting is to really get a better understanding of their actual expected start time. I'm happy to report that in the month of August, the Community Preservation Fund received a total of $171,142. It is one of the strongest months on record, and that happens to be because of the sale of the Masker's Orchard in the month of August. So investments continue to be made in a very strong manner within the town, and we're happy because that directly goes to support land preservation as well as park maintenance and upgrades within the town. I want to congratulate Winslow Therapeutic. They're having their 50th anniversary this Saturday, and 50 years in Warwick is a great accomplishment. As many know, we partner with Winslow. We apply on their behalf for grant funding every year that we've been successful getting, and it's an absolutely outstanding organization in the town. I would also like to congratulate the Greenwood Lake Ambulance Corps, who's going to be celebrating their 70th anniversary next week. And finally, and most importantly, I would like to congratulate Councilman Floyd D'Angelo on being selected to attend the next honor flight to Washington, D.C. We thank you very much for your service, and we're honored to have you as a member of our town board. So congratulations. Thank you. Well done. And at that time, that concludes my report. We'll open it up to privilege of the floor on agenda items, and just a reminder, there will be another opportunity to speak on any general topic later down the agenda. Is there any questions or comments on an agenda item, a resolution, or anything that was said? Okay. Now we're going to go to addendum number 3, which is the resolutions portions of the evening.
Make a motion to adopt local law number 7 of 2024 to exceed the tax property cap. Whereas local law to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law, section 3C, was introduced September 12, 2024, and whereas the public hearing was held as requiring the law on September 26, 2024, to consider the adoption of the said law, and whereas the town board has considered all comments and received the determination that the adoption of the said local law is in the public interest. Now therefore be it resolved that the said public law to override the tax limit of the real property taxes may be levied by the town of Warwick, county of Orange, state of New York, pursuant to general municipal law section 3C, is hereby adopted and same.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution to accept the notice of retirement as Town of Warwick Clerk to the Supervisor, Rosemary Bastanza, effective September 28th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I make a motion to adopt local law number 8 of 2024 entitled amending Chapter 112 peddling and soliciting to include that it is unlawful for any persons or entities to engage in commercial activity upon any real property owned by the Town of Warwick without written permission of the Town of Warwick.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution to appoint Ethan Nalenzi as a part-time seasonal DPW laborer at a rate of pay of $15.75, effective September 30th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution to appoint Robert G. Talal as a part-time seasonal DPW worker at a rate of pay of $15.75, effective September 30, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion granting permission for the following applicants to serve alcohol at the Town of Warwick parks or rental facilities. All applicants have filed a certificate of liability or liquor liability in the clerk's office. Applicant is Ryan Walter for Mountain Lake Park for October 18th and 19th. The Greenwood Lake Theater at Mountain Lake Park for the dates of September 28th and 29th and October 5th and 6th. And Krista Lavender at the Wickham Woodland Manor on October 12th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution to appoint Josiah Williams as a full-time Department of Public Works laborer, grade 4, step 1, at a pay rate of $23.03 as per the CSEA contract effective September 27th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Whereas the Warwick Town Board is aware of the plans of the New York State Department of Transportation to convert State Route 17 into I-86, and whereas the Town of Warwick Board and the residents of the Town of Warwick are concerned of the possibility that the current State Route 17, Exit 127 and Sugarloaf will be eliminated in the conversion of the State Route 17 into I-86. And whereas the Town of Warwick Board and the residents of the Town of Warwick believe that the elimination of the current State Route 17, Exit 127 and Sugarloaf will force an excess amount of vehicular traffic to make use of the current State Route 17, Exit 126, resulting in delays for vehicular traffic entering into Chester, Sugarloaf, and the greater Warwick area. And whereas the Town of Warwick Board and the residents of the Town of Warwick believe that the aforementioned greater amount of vehicular traffic and traffic delays arising from the elimination of the current State Route 17, Exit 127 in Sugarloaf will be harmful to the safety and quality of life of the residents of the Town of Warwick. Therefore, be it resolved that I make a motion to adopt a resolution requesting that the New York State Department of Transportation maintain the current State Route 17, Exit 127 in Sugarloaf in its plans to convert State Route 17 into I-86, and forward such resolution to the New York State Department of Transportation, the Office of the New York State Senator James Skoufis, the Office of the New York State Assemblyman Carl A. Brabenick, and the Town of Chester.
Second.
So we have a second. The clerk will now go into a roll call.
Supervisor Dwyer?
Aye.
Councilman D'Angelo?
Aye.
Councilman Kowal?
Aye.
Councilman Shuback?
Aye.
Councilman Mattingly?
Aye.
Motion carried, 5 ayes, 0 nay.
Thank you. I make a motion to adopt a resolution to approve Hudson Sports Complex special event permit to host Halloween tours on September 27, 8, 9, October 4th, 5th, 6th, 11, 12, 13, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 27, 30, 31, from 6:30 to 11:30. This is all located on their property. They have been inspected by the building inspector to comply with all fire code, and the permit has been paid for.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion to adopt a resolution for the Town Board of the Town of Warwick to authorize the Warwick Town Justice Court to apply for a JCAP grant in the 2024-2025 grant cycle for $3,762.10 to purchase one walk-through metal detector for $4,950, For additional security cameras, $649.98. 2 battery backups, $350. Judicial robe for the Judge Admonson for $598. 2 TVs for updated cameras for the court office and courtroom for a total of $10,410.08.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, back to the cover page of the agenda. I make a motion to pay all audited bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, and now at this time, we'll go into privilege of the floor on any general topic. If you just introduce yourself and speak into the microphone.
Pleasure to meet half of the board. My name is Rich Murdy. As the elder board members could tell, I've sat in the meeting room here for about 3 years, venting some grievances about different things without beating a dead horse. There's been a new thing that's been brought to my attention on Monday. I tried calling your office on Monday afternoon and never heard back from you. I'm with the understanding that there were some people that commandeered an excavator from the town roads to do some work on their own property. And from what I also understand, that their only restitution was to pay for the fuel. They took a $150,000 machine without any authorization, and all they have to do is pay for fuel. What say you?
I would say that, number one, this is an ongoing investigation that's not been closed out. Number two, the immediate goal and requirement was to have taxpayer dollars paid back, and that's why the first step in this whole entire process, number one, was to get an admission of guilt and also to get restitution for the tax dollars that were spent on the equipment. I apologize for not getting back to you. I don't know if you dialed my extension or not, but we did upgrade our phones in Town Hall, and the voicemail is not exactly working for me. I would have called you back because you and I have interacted in the past, and
Yeah.
if you called, I'm sure I would have called you back if I had known you called. But as it stands now, it is an active investigation, and I think a meeting would be more appropriate with the chief if you wanted to understand what logic is going into this. I don't know how much he can comment on it, as there's been we haven't closed the case. We've spent a lot of resources investigating this, getting statements, getting what we need. And as far as I know, the chief has not closed this case, and it's an ongoing investigation.
In the past, Jesse, I mean, there's been, theft of services, theft of goods from workers from the town, and that was all just swept under the rug. And I just hope that, when this is all final, it comes to light, because...
Well, listen, we don't want to set a precedence that anytime somebody wants to borrow a dump truck from the town of Warwick, all they have to do is pay for fuel. So I understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a rental agency, you know what I'm saying?
I get it. I'll reiterate, it's an ongoing investigation. The immediate need and the immediate concern from my part, as well as the police department's part, is to get paid back whatever tax dollars were spent on this. We have not closed this case. We don't intend on closing this case until it's brought to full justice, within the limitations of the wonderful state that we're in, which you probably understand the laws of petty larceny, and the fact that you can essentially walk into CVS, steal $999 worth of goods, and not be prosecuted.
I get all that, but the potential liability that could have been brought to the town for that machine being taken away from where it was left.
Certainly well aware of that.
You know?
And it's not something that you want to happen again, and we've taken steps to ensure that it will never happen again. But I do encourage you, if you want to find out more about this, whatever the chief may be able to describe, within his limitations, as it is an ongoing investigation, I would encourage you to reach out to the chief.
Very good. Thank you very much.
And I apologize for not getting back to you. You can stop in anytime. I'm there every day. Thanks, Rich. Any other questions, comments from anyone? Yes, please, Michael.
I have a question. Did you folks skip number 397 on the agenda?
We did.
Okay.
It's not being acted upon tonight.
Okay.
I appreciate your paying attention, though.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Very good. At this time, I'll announce that the next town board meeting will be Thursday, October 10, 2024 at 7:30 p.m., and it is always preceded by a workshop that may start as early as 6 p.m. on that evening. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
I did, yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Bonnie wants to make sure we can pay our bills. All right, thank you, everybody.